Tom McDonald,
Here.
Anita Matt, Jennifer Finley,
Here.
Jim Molitor,
Here.
Carol Langford, Len Tootie, Bing Matt, Ellie Bundy,
Present.
Martin Charlo,
Present.
Mike Dawson,
I'm here.
James Steele Senior.
Thank you, Jen. Len will probably be out all week with his family. With that, could I ask Ellie to start us with the prayer?
Heavenly Father, first and foremost, today we thank you for all of the beautiful blessings in our lives. Please help us to remember those and as we do our work every day. Thank you for the opportunity to serve our membership in the way that we do. Please help us to make good decisions and keep our membership in mind when we make those decisions throughout the days and weeks. Today, we ask for special blessings for Vice Chairman Two Teeth and his family who are going through difficult times now. Please be with them and provide them the strength and the comfort they need to get through these difficult times. We also ask for special prayers for Councilwoman Matt. And we ask that you be with her and her family and give her the strength that she needs to heal and that she can get back to us soon. And we ask all of this in your name. Amen.
I'm up, Jelly. We have our minutes from August 2nd for council consideration.
Motion to approve the 8-2 minutes.
Motion by Martin to approve the August 2nd minutes with any corrections. Second by Mike. What one correction?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. If you could note that I went to the self-governance conference is why I left the meeting for the remainder of the day.
Okay, yeah, that you went to the self-governance conference. You left the meeting. Any other corrections? Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Seven, 4, 1 abstention. Mike? Minutes are passed. We have our draft agenda before you. Is there any corrections to the agenda? Any additions? Jennifer?
Yeah, I just have one thing to bring up.
Jennifer to the beginning. Any other additions?
Motion to approve the agenda with additions.
Motion by Ellie to approve today's agenda with addition. Second by, well, Martin, go ahead. Or Bing, second by Bing.
Yeah, I was just gonna.
Do an
wanted to
update.
Do an update,
Okay.
please, and open.
Second by Bing. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous. Okay, well, let's get right to the business. I see we got the guys here. Art, Daryl. Who we got? We got CT, Ron, Tony. Come on up. Let's hear a fire update. By golly. There's an aerial show going on out there. You got that McDonald Lake closed, Art? Okay, there's CT got an announcement out there.
Might have got
Okay,
ripped
start us
off.
out.
Go ahead. Go ahead. No.
All right.
All right,
You're up.
so we've got quite a bit of fire activity going on the reservation. We'll update you first with the Red Horn Fire. This is the incident commander. It's Art Trahan and Daryl Claremont's operations. Take it away, Art.
Okay, yesterday we had, it was fairly active, but early on we got after it and started putting aircraft to use, keeping it in check, and that seemed to work for the majority of the day. It has grown some. I believe it was 493 acres by the IR flight early this morning. So, and any of you seen that little column that come off it over the night? It was basically, it was in the thermal belt. So it was just cleaning up some stuff more interior than anything. So that's probably good that it's doing that. We finally got all our equipment that we were looking to get, or at least the ones that we think we need for the time being. It's still well above where we would need to do any kind of evacuations or anything of that sort, but we are looking at that. We're tying in with the gentleman that runs what used to be the Frank Pope ranch there, and gonna run him around today and show him what we're gonna do. We're gonna tie in with his property and then move it south to Ashley Creek at least to there, and then possibly even further south. So that we have all that buttoned up, but our focus is gonna switch as we get that line cleaned and ready to the north in case it does decide to go that direction. That's kind of what we're looking at now. And obviously you guys are seeing it. It's kind of waking up for a little bit more each day. And we just got done looking at some projections with one of the guys that we have in there with Tony Harwood, and the footprint it's showing out 7 days is pretty much what it's been doing. As long as we don't get any weird winds or anything, we should be good, but it's just slowly expanding, still staying up high. So that would be good. Today will be the kind of the kicker on that. It's supposed to be a Haynes 5-day, which is basically means it's gonna wanna have a lot of lift to the air. So it'll probably develop a pretty good column today. We just hope that it keeps moving, trying to move uphill and east. That would be ideal. But other than that, I guess fill them in on what we're doing.
Well, Art hit most of it. Like you said, we're gonna look and start doing some home evaluations to the north of McDonald Lake, trying to get a good count on the homes, assessments on the homes, and maybe get an idea of what the needs would be for each home, just in case we need this to move that way. Signs, we did shut down and put a sign up for McDonald Lake, so that's shut down. We put several signs throughout the county roads, to the east of the highway. The signs we have are not the best as far as what they say, so we kind of just bump back, to the next county road to the east from the main highway, just hoping that'll stop people. And then we do have a public meeting scheduled for tomorrow night at 7 o'clock in Mission at the community center. And we've got stuff out on that. I'm gonna invite the rurals so they can get familiar with what we're looking at, and I'll probably try and get them rolling out and taking a look at a lot of those homes. So if we need to use them, they know the homes, they're familiar. Cause it's probably their engine and stuff that we use for the individual homes, so. And again, like Art said, we've ramped up, brought in another crew, a couple crews actually, some more equipment to try and speed up that process of putting that fuel break in, so. Hoping maybe by the end of this week, we might have phase 1 done. So if we need to move to the north or the south, we'll be ready for that, so. That's what we got going on the fire right now. Any questions?
Like girl.
You have a map on phase 1? You probably showed that. Just don't remember seeing it.
We have maps. If you guys want one, we can get you one. Kelly's producing all of our maps. Yeah.
So phase 1's going to be a shaded fuel break, and we're going to tie it into McDonald's on the north end and work it as far south as we feel we need to, and just extend as we see the need. So right now, Ashley Creek is about as far south as we're getting at this point, and then if we need to, we can progress further back. Hoping that old Ashley Lake scar from 2006 provides some type of barrier for that fire to progress south. And really hit it hard yesterday with aviation, trying to keep that in check. Any movement to the east, we encourage that. And that's doing what probably more good than harm, right? It's more beneficial, and it's what that ecosystem needs. So our real focus right now is to meet it if it comes to the west, down to the homes, and check it up there and protect those structures, and keep it south of McDonald Lake. If we do that, I think we're in a good spot. We're successful. We just don't want any movement to the north across McDonald Lake right now, and that's where it's at. We fully expect it will come down at some point, and similar to what Ashley Lake did. Once this shaded fuel breaks put in place, we can fire off and hopefully, control the movement downhill and tie it into something and address that west end. So that's where we're at as a team. A lot of good work going on. As Elmo Fire starts to demob resources, we're grabbing them and plugging them into the Red Horn incident. So some of the tribal contract equipment that have been demobbed from that fire, we're pulling back into our organization and just methodically expanding as we see the need. At some point, I think we're going to meet mass. We're looking at using SKC, possibly even for a camp as this thing starts to progress for the Red Horn incidents, supporting it with the caterer that we have on Elmo for food, and the logistical needs of this incident are going to start to expand, and that's one thing that we're looking at and trying to address.
So a couple things, there are some residents that been asking questions why we haven't visited them. If you get questions on that, let them know that we are expanding the people that we're contacting within that area down at the valley floor, north and south. There are questions on why we don't have personnel on the hill at the moment for this fire. And if they have questions, go ahead and have them give me or on a call. It's still an unsafe situation up there, and we are fighting it aggressively with the aerial attack and doing good that way. Our progress is great. I think our contingency line, our fuel break line is the path to go, and we're going to continue with that. There are local resources being released from the Elmo fire, and we are transferring them over to our fire when that happens, as equipment is needed. what type of equipment's getting released. We're picking up, those ones that we needed there. There is a transition. I don't know if you're gonna go into that. Yeah. I'll let you talk about that.
So any other additional questions on Red Horn? That is definitely the primary priority fire for us right now. If we were to use a priority system for our fires, Red Horn is number one priority for our tribe at this moment. We did have 2 lightning fires. One that's that crazy fish that we jumped and held it at about 3/10 of an acre in size. So we got smoke jumpers up there engaged. Their lines held overnight. Their first night they went up, they lined the fire and snags fell throughout the night and pushed the fire across their lines. And so, you know, they're in a snag patch up there. So we're really watching out for them and hoping that they're safe. You know, we think of them as they're up there doing our work. I tied in with them this morning and they feel pretty comfortable with where they're at and hoping that it'll be in a position where they can hike out tomorrow. We do have a fire that's up in Lucifer Lake, right on the shores of Lucifer. And we inserted some helicopter individuals off our Mission Valley crew into that fire. And they checked it up yesterday, felt comfortable with it, ran some buckets on it. We pulled them off the fire due to grizzly bear activity, ran into a sow and some cubs. And we're looking at an opportunity today to go back and check that fire, make sure it's out or in good shape. And we'll probably just keep that one on patrol status for a while. We just don't feel comfortable putting people up there to camp with the activity.
Is that lightning or man caused?
Both were lightning. So we had a lightning storm come through Saturday evening. I don't know if you, and it sprinkled some lightning over on the middle range. Thank goodness none of those took, but it like zapped 2 strikes up on the one in the Jocko and one up on the Missions. And sure enough, we got 2 fires. Oh, I think that one was lightning. Okay. So update on the Elmo fire. It's 20,000 acres and change, $3.1 million as of yesterday to suppress that. 8 structures lost. John Thompson's incident management team will time out on Saturday and will transition Sunday into a type 3 organization. Right now we're stretched so thin that we're going to fill in that type 3 organization with a combination of people that are on that team. And then some state employees are going to come down and serve as operations and other positions. We have a bear team that's coming in to do an assessment on that fire. Team leader came in on Sunday and called the remainder of the team. They're going to come in and we'll brief them tomorrow, Wednesday. And they'll start doing an assessment. They're tied in with Sean DeFrance, and Sean will help them get everything, you know, organized and completed. I think the other thing of interest is that I was approached by Junior Kai last night, you know, concerns over Chief Cliff and the type of activities going up there. And I'll just let you know, this team is just focusing in on the first 300 feet of the line construction, you know, trying to secure that. We're going to have some interior smoke inside that fire for a long time. And we're not going to go after it. It's going to be political smoke. I'm sure it's going to be doing that until we get a change in the weather. And I expressed to Junior that we will not have folks mopping up or going into the Chief Cliff area. I notified Katie McDonald last night, and she's going to get a hold of Junior. And if need be, we can take folks up and start taking a look at that area that's crucial and critically important to Junior and the rest of the Kootenai people. So outside of that, looking extended, we're as dry as we've ever been here on the reservation. A long way to go. And we're really trying to maintain the rest rotation for our crews, trying to keep them up and healthy. Getting quite a bit of support from the regional office. They came in and plugged in with us and helping us get through some of these challenges. Amy Kaufman's really engaged. She's really helping with that type of line officer duties that she needs. To date, we've had 1 injury that I know and it was related to food, allergic reaction to a candy bar. The individual was cleared and released back to full duty. So right now, I mean, we have a great safety record, feel comfortable with where we're at. We know things can change quickly, but right now we feel good going forward with the organization we got, the work that these folks are doing. And just trying to make sure we communicate everything to the public and engage all the cooperators as we need to. I mean, I think you saw Andy Learn come in. You know, the rural fire department's been very solid and we've always worked good with them. So Daryl incorporating, St. Ignatius, it's in their district, Red Horn, but we know mutual aid, Charlo and Ronan typically, because Mission does not have that many folks in their force. Start incorporating them into this incident. I think that's going to go a long ways just with our relationships. And Don Bell, he's going to be part of that evacuation piece. So he'll be invited to that community meeting and we'll just start getting ready for that situation if we do have to address, the west edge of that fire.
One more touch up on the bear team. We did have a meeting with them yesterday with our resource specialist, or with the leader, kind of set out timelines and goals and meetings and field trips for the next week. They'll come in Wednesday or Thursday, and we plan on having a closeout on Monday with the team there on suggested treatments, areas to focus on: hydrology, fisheries, wildlife concerns, weed concerns throughout the Elmo, and timber harvesting, salvaging concerns. So we'll plan on being next Tuesday in here with our normal update, along with a bear team closeout for you guys to be able to ask questions and see what we have planned for that recovery area.
Just one question, Tony. There's a state section in there. So we've had this, internal request to consider that tribal land under normal circumstances. This is kind of unnormal. So I'm not sure how to treat that particular one for a timber salvage sale. If there's any timber on that section, I'm not sure.
Yeah, there's timber on that section. There's also currently a agricultural lease within that section. I'll check my map. I've been plugged into that team. I'll check my map and see if that's one of the first eligible sections that they had for transfer, and talk with Melissa and see what the next steps for that area is.
Okay, thank you.
Just one thing on stage one restrictions. Attended a meeting yesterday with the zone. They elected not to go into any restrictions. And Bitterroot is in stage 2. And then we're in stage 1. And so we're kind of seeing what this weather does today. By the end of the week, we could go into extreme and maybe go to stage 2.
Probably pretty predictable. Go ahead, Carol.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on one thing. When the appropriations staff were here, we met at fire control, and an issue I found out about, and I don't know a lot about it, but it's the bonus pay that all the state, I believe it's the federal employees and state employees, I don't know about state, but federal employees get. And they're at the same caliber. These guys are at the same caliber as them. The only thing different is they're tribal, and they don't get that bonus pay. And it's what I understand is $20,000 with, I don't know, some kind of a side pay. Anyway, when the appropriate staff were here, I brought it up to them, and Ron actually backed me up on it because he probably knows more about it. But I really, get tired of our people being set in the corner while all these other agencies get this kind of pay. And I think our people deserve that just as much as anybody else. So I don't know, we brought it up to them, and hopefully when Deb Holland comes for the meeting up north, we can also bring it up to her. But, I just want to let you know that Ryan said he would follow that and see what we could do for our people here on the ground, because you work hard and you have all the qualifications just like they do, so.
So, yeah, we've been in communication with that Steve Farrell, I believe is his name, and he was very interested after that meeting and had some questions. And so I had an opportunity to talk with the team about that, and there's an operations guy that works for the Forest Service. And he received a $12,000 bonus as a part of that. Now he's getting $600 extra every check. And the interesting thing is part of the bill fund, and the funds are only going to be around until 2026 or until they're all expended. And the way he was approaching it, he said, I think we're going to spend that pretty fast. So in order for us to get involved or get a part of that, I think we're going to have to move rather quickly. Intertribal Timber Council sent a letter forward. And I think Tony's got more on that if you want to.
Yeah, so working with ITC, we have sent a letter to Ms. Holland's office with the questions and asking for solution. We've also been in talk with the Office's Wildland Fire Director on that's where the money got appropriated from the DOI to the Department of OWF. And so the meeting with the appropriations staff that was here, fortunately, there was a member of that team that was a very good contact for us, Stephen, and he works in a DOI budgeted office. He is now having meetings about this on ways to amend that wording to include the tribes. So there's movement on it for sure. And I think that meeting we had was very helpful.
Yeah, I'm glad that Steve guy came along. He's kind of want to help coordinate that field trip. One question that came up, and maybe Bing brought it up to me, and that was, again, so this fire season, you know, it's easy to know where lightning strikes are and kind of watch that area for sleepers and starts and stuff like that. But when man-caused fires sprout up, you just don't know where they're going to happen. You don't know when, you don't know where. And so it's kind of like the observation is pretty keen, and reporting for that is pretty keen. Without lookouts being manned, it's a little different, harder to get that. So I just didn't know if there was any plans for, what's the plans for lookout uses, especially with man-caused fires, because you just never know when they're going to pop up. And really that first reporting is pretty critical. So before they get rolling, like that Elmo fire got rolling. Not to say that could have been stopped any way, shape, or form, but just kind of wondered about that with the lookouts.
Yeah, there's always interest in the lookouts, and there's some history, I guess, of the budget that we receive for preparedness, and that's what paid for the lookouts to go up. Haven't had a cost of living increase ever. We entered that agreement in 1995, and it hasn't changed. So we're trying to support a program in 2022 with a 1995 budget, and part of that was to cut positions and combine positions where we could. And that's what we're seeing now is we eliminated the lookouts and combined some positions with our staff. And we're about as combined as we can get for the amount of activity that we do have and the staff that we have to manage it. We're all wearing several hats, and it's just unfortunate, but that just is the way it is. I've been pushing for change, and I don't see that happening. Two of our lookouts are now condemned, Pistol Creek and Jocko, due to the construction. Looking at trying to get some type of automated system installed into our lookout areas instead of having lookouts, just have automated cameras and see how that would work, because that's the new age. Right now with cell phones, we get a number of calls. Now, we did get a pretty quick call on Elmo, and like you said, it wouldn't have made a difference. But yeah, detection is huge, and I appreciate your concern. I know, Bing, you've hit me up on that a couple of times, and I know when Fred Matt was in council, he also had that same concern, staffing and looking. There is so much activity in our woods now, and it's hard to say You know, you'll see lights when you're sitting up there in the lookout. I think we'd be chasing things around, but detection is huge. This year has been good. For person caused fires, actually for fire activity, we've had less fires this year than we've had in a long time. So I think we're in a good spot there. But I will definitely keep pushing to try to get those automated cameras, Honorable Chairman. I think that's the next step for us.
And also one way we've combated that is our Air Force is ramped up. Our air attack platform, our helicopter has been very great at keeping eyes open when they're on an incident for others. They've picked up fires in other areas for us, just by being in the air and being able to see. But also we ramp up our forces by bringing in severity resources, and that's part of the request that we've had to add extra patrol during these times, especially when we don't want a human caused fire. That's the last thing we need right now is a human caused fire to stretch our resources even more.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Any other questions from the fire update? Go ahead, Bing.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Every time you guys bring up the South Fork, it kind of raises my hackles a little bit. But is that fire up by Crazy Fish, is that on the reservation or is that in the Rattlesnake area? Because I heard on radio that Mineral Mountain has two fires over there. One is down west of Mineral Mountain and the other one is a little bit further over. I didn't know whether that was in the Rattlesnake or that was the one they were talking about above Crazy Fish or Crazy Fish, or what was the deal on it?
No, it's just on the reservation.
It is on a reservation.
Yeah.
It's in the area, the sail suits, that other lake that, you got to hike up to. It's a little bit closer to that lake.
All right, any other questions? Seeing none, thank you for the update.
All right, thank you. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Yes, keep up good work. Okay, Jennifer, I think you had something. Oh, 20?
I think other part of another division's up, so I might as well stay here. Forestry, right?
Yeah, we're at, Jennifer has a couple updates, and so is Martin. I don't know what Craig's up to. Craig, you needed to. Sure. Oh, executive? Okay. We'll move into executive real quick for Craig.